You ever wish you knew the Bible better? So when people claim that the Bible says this or that, you'd have the confidence to know if that was true, or to know how to respond to people misusing it? Or even just for yourself, for your own spiritual growth, to better understand what the Bible teaches and be able to call passages to mind to help you through difficult times? I've had so many people tell me that they have wanted to study the Bible, but they've struggled to find the time, or to find even a Bible study group where they would feel welcome. So I have a proposal for you. What if you and I study the Bible together this year? In fact, I'm making this on New Year's Eve, so how's this for a New Year's resolution? Even if you're watching this in the middle of the year, this could be your middle of the year resolution. Why don't you and I commit to doing a year of Bible study together, just a little bit each day, taking weekends off as we make our way through the whole New Testament? It can be our Year of Bible. See, that's the channel name, Year of Bible. I did a test run of this over the past year, and it was great, and I would love to try this now with you. I'll start January 12th, so if you're watching this before then, you can start right along with me on the 12th, or if you're watching after that, just start today, whenever today is, and then over the next year, if you're up for it, you and I are going to read through the whole New Testament together, just one chapter a day, Monday through Friday. I'll post a new video each day with the text of that day's chapter on screen, and I'll even read it out loud in case you need to listen on the go. But we're not just going to read, we're going to discuss too. Each day I'll try to leave you with something to think about, something interesting about the passage, or even just a personal reflection or a question to ponder. And I hope that you'll share your reactions and insights in the comments so that we can learn from each other. Now, before we start, let me say a little something about how I'm going to be approaching the Bible, because there are lots of different ways to. I'm a Christian, and I love the Bible, so I'm going in with certain assumptions. That there is a God, that the Bible is inspired by God, that it's worth learning from what the Bible has to say, and so on. I'm not here to critique or pick apart the Bible. That would be a completely different kind of study. At the same time, I also know that some of you have had terrible experiences in Christian spaces, perhaps made to feel like you or your loved ones are somehow inferior, or sometimes with people even using the Bible as a weapon against you. And that breaks my heart, because I don't think that's the Bible's message at all. So I want this to be a welcoming study for you, a welcoming Christian study, no matter who you are, even if you and I don't agree on everything. And actually, that goes for the non-Christians in my audience too. You are more than welcome to join us. Just know that on this channel, I'm going to be approaching this as a Christian, speaking primarily to my fellow Christians as we study the Bible together. If you're more interested in hearing what I have to say to a wider audience, you can check out my main channel, Geeky Justin, where I speak to a wider audience. Now, as I was planning this, I ran into one somewhat surprising obstacle, because obviously we need to choose an English translation to read since the New Testament was written in Greek. Okay, no big deal, right? There are lots of English translations out there, from the famous King James Version from the 1600s with all those these and thous, because that's how people talked then, to more modern translations. So many modern translations, in fact, that the names can get confusing. There's the Revised Standard Version, the New Revised Standard Version, the New Revised Standard Version Updated Edition, the New International Version, which itself spawned the today's New International Version, then went back to the New International Version again, but with different text from the original New International Version. There's the English Standard Version, the New American Standard, the Christian Standard, the New Living Translation, the Old Living Translation. Okay, that last one was a joke, but the rest are all real, and there are plenty more, each with their own strengths. So what's the problem? Well, it turns out every single one of those modern translations is copyrighted, so I can't read large sections of any of them on YouTube. I could read the centuries-old King James Version, and some Christians do prefer that one, but that old-fashioned language can honestly be a bit off-putting for a lot of folks, and I'm afraid I'd end up spending more time having to learn and explain outdated vocabulary rather than actually focusing on the meaning of the text. Thankfully, though, there is a solution. There's a recent English translation called the Berean Standard Bible, which has been dedicated to the public domain. So I can read that one in its entirety without getting in trouble. Now, is it a perfect translation? No, not in my opinion. I wouldn't even say it's my favorite translation, but I think it's generally good. It's pretty well regarded, and because it's public domain, critically, we can use it as our main text while also bringing in some other translations from time to time. So, problem solved. One other thing you might notice, by the way, is that we're not going to read in the traditional Bible order from Matthew to Revelation. With year-long studies like this, a lot of Bible experts recommend reading out of order for a bunch of reasons I can get into in another video. But the point is, we're going to start with Mark and jump around a bit, but don't worry, we will eventually get to all of it. So, with all that information, what do you say? Do you want to do this study with me? Just one chapter a day, 5 days a week, taking weekends off. And by this time next year, you'll have studied the whole New Testament. And hopefully you'll feel way more confident with it than you do right now. It's going to take some commitment, but I've been testing and preparing for this all year, and I think we can do it. So what do you say? We'll start our study on January 12th with Mark chapter 1. I can't wait. I hope to see you then.